Oh, man. I can't believe it. It's time for another stream. Let's get this started. Let's go. Right? Hey there, friends. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it might be in your part of the world.
Greetings, my excellent friend.
It is so good to see you. My name is Jeff Fritz, and today is January 20th, 2026. We're going to write a little bit of code today. How you doing there, chat room? I see some folks chiming in. I see a couple resubs. Thank you so much for that. Let me bring up the chat room there, right over here. We're broadcasting live on Twitch and YouTube. You can check us out in both locations. Let me say hello. Oh my goodness. Let me scroll up here. Scroll back up here. Billy, how you doing there? Mars? Really? Hello from Mars? CTI Geek, how you doing there in Virginia? I don't think it got a pin for you on that location. How you doing there? Soy Zekin? Hello? Yes. C Sharp. Absolutely. Mythin, thank you for the resub. 52 months. Yes. Whatever time it is in your part of the world, welcome in. How you doing there? Phil, hello. Thindal, oh, hi to you. Going to see Thindal in just a couple short weeks. Svekos is here. How you doing? Your robot vacuum is cursed today, driving around and turning lights on and off. What? Patty boy, how you doing in Glasgow? Hello. Thank you for the sub. Svekos, 25 months with us. Yes. Napalm in Pittsburgh. PC Nerd, welcome in from Pueblo. It's downright warm at 10 Fahrenheit. We're 14 Fahrenheit right now in Philadelphia. 7 Celsius in Pittsburgh. Yeah, that's about the same range. Yeah. You got a custom domain on your Aspire app working. There you go, Mythin. Codebase Alpha with the resub.
Codebase Alpha just resubscribed for 19 months. 19 months. Seems like yesterday.
Right? I don't know why I didn't pick that up for you, CTA Geek. It's still it's grouchy about your location here. And I don't know why. That doesn't make sense for me. I don't like that. We'll get that. Really? You can't find Virginia? You can't find Virginia. That's weird. Let me get some music playing in the background here. And we'll come back and think about that. I'm gonna go with the Stream Beats synthwave playlist here, just some groovy music to have in the background. Let's start here. This is called Glowing Grid Lines, and it should show us right about there. There it is. This is music that's DMCA free, royalty free. Listen to it wherever you'd like. Check it out at streambeats.com. Big thanks to Harris Heller and his team of creators for this music we're listening to today. Let me see here. Hashimal, hello over there on YouTube. Welcome in. Hello. HappyDateTime.now. Yeah, there we go. Why isn't it finding Virginia? Are you kidding? That's about the dumbest thing I've ever seen it right. Really? Try that again. No. That's weird that it's failing on that. Let's just do this. Let's just say Richmond. There we go. That gets us something in Virginia. Continuing on here. You fell into the ocean last night, didn't you hear? No, I didn't hear. Really? Why don't I believe you? Eldoan in Princeton, Texas. How you doing? You're Hashem from Yemen. Oh, well, thank you. Tell you what, let me go over to the map. Here's what I want you to do. Hashem? give me a little greeting, hello from Yemen, something like that, and it'll place a marker there, somewhere in Yemen, at least to get a location to represent your part of the world. So thank you so much for chiming in. Ravnos, hello, Miami, Florida. It didn't put a pin on Miami, and it's not querying Miami either, because it probably doesn't understand hi dare. It does. I don't think it recognizes hi dare from. I'm practically positive about that one. So, and I'll pull that down a little bit so you can see more of. There you go. Fix my coding. Right. I code good and other stuff. That's what I do here. I do have a new hat that I'm wearing today. Let's just show you what this one is. It's another Pirates of the Caribbean hat. I walked into the shop at the Pirates of the Caribbean in Disney, and I saw two hats, and I was like, I gotta have them both. Because the text on this one is even better. You just got back from CodeMash in Sandusky.
Nautical Skull and Crossbones hat confirmed. Every line you write brings you closer to salvation, or damnation.
Okay, thank you. Which doesn't match any hats in my collection. That's right. That's right. So this one says the captain is always right, and I'm the captain. So the hat color on the map is not correct. It is the same for everyone's Fecos. Yeah. It doesn't use specific hat color. If you're a subscriber, it puts up the little rainbow color hat. If you're just a somebody who's watching on Twitch who isn't a current subscriber, it's a purple hat. And folks that are watching on YouTube that chime in get a little red hat. So the gift shops do love it when I'm in town because they know they're going to sell hats. Let me tell you. So CTI Geek went to CodeMash, did a workshop on 8-bit breadboard computers. So we can talk a little bit about that in just a second here. Insert the I'm the captain now meme. I started looking at various video memes that I want to cut and drop in here for different things. So you have lots of issues with locations in Virginia and matching on genealogy research. Now the endpoint that it should be querying should pop it immediately. Like, I know Virginia is in my list of locations in my GPS cache, so I don't know why it's not putting it. So, like, there we go. Imatra, zooming in there. Rodney, see, St. Louis, Missouri, it should have picked that up. No problem. But no. Didn't. Like, come on, man. I know there was particularly an issue with the Saint prefix, the ST period prefix, that my regular expressions were having a hard time with. And that shouldn't be too bad to do. Let's do this. Let's set that for, Rodney, and I should be able to just say St. Louis. There we go. There we go. I think the Missouri may have confused it. These are little things to tweak and tune inside of Charlie that I just need to get to. And quite frankly, tinkering with that, I don't think is something that you want to watch me do.
R2D2, where are you when I need you?
Well,
Fritz needs someone to fix this mess.
Yes, I do need somebody to fix this. So, Codebase Alpha is working on a side project in Blazor with MudBlazor and API integration with D365 CE, developing it using agentic coding and Claude Code having a really good success. Yes, I am definitely seeing much success working with agents, and the the more recent models, more recent coding models have been just fantastic to work with, really delivering more reliable, more successful results. And I think part of that also is we're learning how to give better context to the AI agents and tools so that we get more reliable results that deliver what we're looking for. How you doing, Side Gamma? I take the hello from the string, get the location, geocode it, and place a pin on the map. Yes, that is. It doesn't like that emote at the end. Give me just hello from Tampa, and I need to set it up so it retries when it sees an emote at the end of something and drops that off, because it just gets wrapped up there. There we go. Look at that. There we got Tampa. Let me see here. Okay, hey Lundo Spark, how you doing? And we'll drop a pin on Staffordshire. I'll swing over here so you can see that. So I've been doing some research and planning. You mentioned breadboard coding. I've been doing some research and planning, and I mentioned this in the Discord. I got really inspired working on that little Nutcracker music box project over the holiday break. And I started doing some research. I saw some folks, because I didn't want to just leave the Raspberry Pi like pinned onto a platform. I wanted to put it in a box. And when you start putting a computer into a box, well, why not put a little screen with it? Well, I do have a little screen. Well, when you put a computer in a box with a little screen, you might as well have a keyboard. I have a Bluetooth keyboard that'll work with that, so I guess that's okay. But then I saw some folks talking about a cyber deck. Yeah. Let me bring up some of these. No, that's show me some of the designs here. Give me no, hang on. Yeah, here we go. And I was spending time looking at these, and I thought, this is kind of insane and neat what some of these folks are doing to stitch together with their own case, their own 3D printed case, or sometimes repurposing something, a keyboard with a little screen, with maybe a Raspberry Pi. Here's somebody that took their laptop and they just like put all kinds of screens hanging off of it, and that's kind of cool. And here's a keyboard with a screen, and I have some other things up here. I don't know what all that junk is, and that's kind of neat. Look, here's somebody they put the old Commodore 64 luggable, and they put a HAL sticker on there, and that's kind of fun. And I'm looking at this and going, that's so uninspired. I started seeing some that look a little bit like this, and I'm thinking, you've got that wonderful little CRT in the middle. It's such a throwback, but you can't read that thing at all. But you've got these accessories on the side here. They've got discs over here on the sides that, okay, you're doing something with that. That kind of looks interesting. Like there might be something else going on there. And the more that I was thinking about it and looking at this idea of what folks are doing, something like this started speaking more to me, where mechanical keyboard, and a couple little things in here and some vents and stickers and things. I've seen cyber decks in Pelican style case. Can even buy 5 1/4 and 3.5 discs. Maybe on like a retro computer shop. But I got to thinking, looking at something like this, what I would love to build is something that's my command center. We keep referring to the AI as our co-pilot. Co-pilot this, co-pilot that, co-pilot, co-pilot, co-pilot. If I have a co-pilot that's the AI, that means I'm the pilot. I want to have a machine that's my cockpit. I want to have a machine that has not just my main screen, that's my window into what's going on. I want to have other buttons and dials and additional screens, and I want to trim this out so that it looks and feels like my command center for running a stream, for teaching, for leading something that folks are going to look at and going, wow, what is that? So I've been writing a piece of software called Neon Link, and now I've been putting together a piece of hardware designs that I'm calling the Neon Link Mark I. Analog gauges are just a little bit outside of what I'm looking at. But I'm putting OLED displays, LCD displays, e-ink displays, all said and done, between 2 additional OLED displays, those arrive this week, an LCD display, that arrives next week, an e-ink display, and an high-def HDMI quality display, high-def display. I'm going to have 5 displays hooked up to this that are going to be able to show and do all kinds of things. And here's where it starts to get a little bit more interesting and fun. I've got tons of LED strips left. And you saw how I was working with the LEDs with the Nutcracker Music Box project. I'm going to run LEDs all over this thing. And just opening a laptop like this is so passé, right? Hey, great, look, you flipped open a thing there and you've got a thing. Ooh, look at you. This person has actually a couple of extra display things in here that look interesting. No, they're not going to be blinking lights. No. Right? And they've got a old Nintendo controller they mounted down here. Whatever. I'm doing a completely unique layout. This isn't going to be a cyber deck because these don't really have a lot of power. They're more design thing than actually a workstation that you can do something with. I'm designing and building this so that it has 4 surfaces to work on. 3 different panels with displays on them. Both sides in use. Let me bring up, and I'll show you one of the concept images. I don't want to give away too much because I'm going to talk about the, yeah. Get me signed in there, Copilot. Do your thing. Really? You forgot who I am? What? I gotta sign back in here. Hang on. The concept for this is really good. Yeah. Displays are very cheap and very high quality. I'm going to build this live on stream. I'm going to document the whole thing. There will be a YouTube series. I have buttons that I have being delivered that they arrive next week, that I'm going to put on this thing. I'm going to have a nameplate on it. There's stuff that's going to be on the back of this. These two sides, they don't look like it on this. They swing in, and this folds down. So there's going to be two parts on the sides that swing in, and then the top folds down, so it's a solid brick. I'm 3D printing the whole thing. That's how I'm making the cases. This case is going to be completely custom, handmade on my 3D printer, right? And I have a FlashForge AD5X is what I'm using. So I have some gray PETG filament that's coming. I have some black TPU that I'm going to use to print some, so I have some grip places on it where I'm going to do, and you can't see it on this mock-up, but I'm going to do all kinds of cyberpunk inspired different designs and weird angles on things on the exterior of this case. The nameplate out here is, I've revised since this design, and I'm going to have the ports. See, here's where I'm going off the map from how folks build laptops today. The ports for the Raspberry Pi, I'm going to expose back here, facing me. Why? Because I have a keyboard here. I have a touchpad over here. If I'm going to use a keyboard and mouse with this, I'm not plugging them in here. So they can, I can put them somewhere else. If I need to plug in other devices, that's okay. I want to plug them in here because the back has a bunch of other cool stuff on it that I want folks to be able to see and not have all that junk interrupting. Now, I'm also building this so that it can, yeah, these other designs aren't quite what I'm looking for. No. I'm also designing this so that I can use my VR headset with it, so that I can turn off all the screens and go full VR, and I'm off and running. So I think there's some really cool stuff there. Am I going to share the STL? Yes, I will share the STL after I have things designed and built. So I was talking about the hinges, right? So I've been designing and talking through. Keyboard's going to be here. This front wall thing isn't really going to be here. It's going to be lower so that I can rest my hands. But these hinges here, the trick with building a hinge is the screen that's up here, you need to run cables through to go up there. So you can't just put a steel rod through there and call it a day. Like, you need to put the steel rod through this part and then run cables through a cavity that's inside here. So there's screens on both sides of the lid, and I need to be able to run cables up in there. I may even try and run LEDs around the outside rim of the lid. I don't know yet. It might be a little, that might be a little over the top. So there's designs for LEDs to go around the outside. I don't have a RGB keyboard. It feels a little weird in a laptop. I don't know. I'm not in on that, but we'll see. So that's what I'm planning, thinking about. All of these parts are dirt cheap right now on Amazon. A Raspberry Pi 5 kit is $200 American. So, and that's a Pi 5 with 16 gig of RAM, case, power supply, fan, the whole shooting match. And that's actually a very capable computer. So I'm looking at that and thinking something like this is going to be easy to build and 3D print. So you're going to hear more from me talking about building and putting this together. Over the next few weeks, I'm going to be spending some time doing that, and I've been doing the designs all with Copilot. The software that goes with it is going to be coming along also, and I will no doubt be publishing all the control software, the STLs, and getting feedback from folks. I might not publish all the STLs. I might hold back on a few of them that are kind of something that sets it apart. But yeah, I'll definitely be sharing and showing how the whole thing comes together. So, Jory asks, how do I get attention for a YAML serializer, which is almost as fast as system text JSON, but I don't get the attention to the repo to get contributions? What do you mean by it's almost as fast? And it's a YAML serializer. Like, publish benchmarks. That would be my first thing. The MO in the developer space, show don't tell. Don't tell me that, hey, it's really fast. Show me the benchmarks. That will go over well. And when I say show me, that means write a blog post, put together a little YouTube short or a YouTube video that shows here it is performing. Here's what makes it so cool. Put an article on dev.to or Hacker News is a little bit trickier to get on. Share an article on Reddit about what you've written with links, and make it visible so that folks can discover and find you. We're on ads for wrapping up here in 10 seconds on Twitch. There we go. Thank you so much for the ads. Checking here. 1 second here. Who is Virginia and when did she go missing? Yeah. Let me see. Let me go to this question from Cygamma. How much would you recommend spending on a 3D printer? One that's cool for beginners, but you can do legit work with. That, Cygamma, that's what I was looking at when I landed on the Flash Forge that I ended up getting my hands on, because it was capable, but at the same time I wasn't spending a ton of money. And what I call a ton of money might be different from what you think of. So this is the Flash Forge website. Bamboo is the top of the line printer that folks recommend right now. It's also a little bit more expensive, very high quality. Nothing wrong with that at all. But I got this one, the 5X, for $340 American. That's not bad. And it allows me to print with 4 colors simultaneously. That's pretty good. So, printer for $340, $15 for each of 4 colors, $60. I'm in at $400, and I can start printing in 4 colors simultaneously, and I've got everything I need to get started. Yes. I've printed the enclosure that goes with this. I've also put the camera on this that came with it. The camera that Flash Forge sells is awful. It has an awful refresh rate. It's like you're looking at your prints through a potato. It's okay for checking in and seeing, did my print mess up? But don't expect to do a time-lapse video off of it. Don't expect to get good pictures off of it. So, does the multicolor capability cost extra? Nope. Nope. It's all included. The spools on the side all come with it. And this person stuck a bunch of stuff to their IFS up here that does all the loading of the filament into the printer. So it's so easy to use. Uses pretty much the same slicer software that everybody else uses, Orca. You can download and just send stuff over there, and it works great. So, you don't have any great ideas of what to print, Chris? I totally agree with you. That was something that I was running into as well. What am I going to print? Take a look around at the 3D Maker websites, and there's all kinds of little neat things that folks print and make. I'm slowly getting more and more into this, and after building the Nutcracker music box, I got that inspiration, and I want to build and do more with building a little PC case. What's the print volume? This is, so once again, this isn't anything near commercial grade. The dimensions, come on, where's the dimensions on this, John? Show me somewhere on the website where it shows me dimensions. There we go. 363 millimeters, 402 millimeters, 448. You're not going to let me zoom in on that? You make me sad. I have the enclosure on it, so it's taller up here, but everything's enclosed in glass, so it's quieter, and I don't have the fumes wandering through. So you're about to start a project to print a cover for your car door armrests so the dog's nails don't tear off the leather. Okay, that's an interesting idea. So I have no relationship with FlashForge. Here's information about it and all the stuff that comes with it. Yeah, see the 4-color module, the mounting plate. It's so easy to put together. Like, you'll get this thing put together in no time. I have a handful of little benchies that I've printed, so it's not bad. Not bad at all. It's not the fastest, it's not the highest quality, but you know what? For me getting started, I'm having a ton of fun with it. I'm having fun, and that's all that I'm looking for. So there you go. There's your segment of Fritz and 3D printing for the day. So yeah, I think it's fun. I see a couple more folks sharing locations. So, oh my gosh, we got 2 in Texas? What? Princeton and Rockwall. Love it. Thank you so much, friends. So, yeah, so I'm going to be spending time offline. I'll bring and show, particularly when I get to the software, I'll bring and show how that's evolving on stream. But I'm going to be spending time primarily putting that together for a YouTube series, some TikToks, showing a little bit of how I've been doing the conversation with Copilot. Like, let me back up here and find a bit of the conversation that's actually a little bit interesting. Yeah, here we go. Here's a good one. I was looking at, yeah, here we go. On the right wing, I want touchpad near the bottom with the OLED at the top, macro buttons between the touchpad and the OLED. What are some options for macro button hardware? Share some links to button options I can get on Amazon. And it shared some ideas, low profile tactile push buttons, and that doesn't look like a push button. Mechanical keyboard switches, those are too tall. Square arcade style, like metal momentary push buttons, okay. And I did some back and forth. These switches are too tall. Tell me more about the low profile buttons. And it gave me some ideas here. They're easy to mount, easy to wire, 2 pins to the GPIO. No diodes, no matrix needed. Nice. And gave me some options and how they fit into the layout. And I asked, hey, find me some links. And the first set of links were wrong. And eventually I came through and it gave me this. Okay. Those are button switches. And there's 50 of them in the bag for $8. Like $8-9 and I get 50 buttons. And the best part then, I can 3D print the keycaps for these. So now I'm not limited to whatever color I can order from Amazon, right? And because I'm 3D printing the keycaps, and I've got my multicolor printer, I can print whatever design I want on the keycaps. So maybe on the one side, I print keycaps for 4 buttons going across that are A, B, C, and D. And on the other side, I print 1, 2, 3, and 4 on it. I don't know. But that's the best part. Since I'm 3D printing it, and they're my keycaps that I'm putting on these things, this is all modular, and I can pop keycaps out and pop on the ones that I want for different things at different times, depending on how the spirit moves me, right? So this is going to be some fun that like I said, I'm going to be getting into. I'm going to share and show. I've got enough around the initial design discussions and concepts for this that I can probably record a first video or two. I have a bunch of other videos that I'm recording for some other folks, some things that I'm doing around RAG development, some things that I'm doing around Blazor. I have the Blazor workshop with Aspire that I'm in the middle of polishing. We're probably going to do that in mid-February. We'll have that live online here. I've got I'm going to be heading out. I'm going to try and do it this evening and get the hats printed. Listen to me. Get the hats embroidered, because I have to go out and do a couple things tonight before I go to New York City tomorrow. So tomorrow I'm in New York City for the Copilot AI tour, the Microsoft AI tour. So I'll be at Javits Center tomorrow, wandering around, helping with the workshop. Look forward to seeing some folks there. We'll see. You finished going through the AI workshop from a while back? Oh, I'm glad to hear it, PC Nerd. Yeah. That's something that I think we can update. There's all kinds of cool new techniques. Folks are really getting into multi-threaded agents, right? Having multiple agents. Multi-thread is the wrong word. Having multiple agents working on different parts of a project at the same time. And we hear folks talk about the Ralph loop. And just sending agents off to constantly work on something. It's an interesting idea, but man, it uses a ton of tokens. And I worry about that because there comes a point where the amount of electricity that you're burning versus the productivity and value you're getting out of it, I think has diminishing returns at some point. I think. So the completely autonomous Ralph coding loop, I worry about the ethics of it. So let's move on. And I have we'll go back over here. We've been talking about this project, CodeMedic. Did I have it on CodeMedic.net? No. Really? That's not on. Oh, that's not mine. That's why. GitHub.com. It's not on C# Fritz. It's on Fritz and Friends CodeMedic. And I've done a number of videos on the YouTube summarizing what we've been working on this. Hey, Code with Sean. Hello, hello. So there you go. You're the Ralph Cramden of agents. Oh, but see, that's an old guy reference, right? I thought I had. Didn't I have? I thought I had a website wired up on this. Right? I guess I don't. But we've done a lot of things to set up for CodeMedic, this project that's going to analyze your repository, report the health of your repository, and we've got it set up as a Docker container. There's all kinds of configuration capabilities that we've put in here. And I want to jump back in and keep working on some of these things so that we can advance a little bit what's going on with this. Patty Boy gave us a handful of feedback here, and right before the holiday, stuff got lost in the shuffle here. I want to get back to some of these. Preventing terminal hang memory or CPU spikes when analyzing large repositories. Yeah. Use a large amount of CPU and memory under certain situations. So, to be sure, .NET applications, just like Java applications, will not do garbage collection until there's memory pressure. So, something using a lot of memory that is a .NET application, while it's running, as long as it's not using, even if it is using all the memory that's available, it will eventually garbage collect. Eventually. When it stops, yeah, everything gets collected and shut down. So saying something that is .NET or Java is using a lot of memory, so what? So what? If you've got memory available, it's going to use it. Why not? Tested on 40,000 lines of code, dozens of package references, NuGet feeds in the public feed, 2 internal authenticated feeds. It would help to skip or contain issues around those. Yeah, caching. Loving the AI, John. Thank you, Penderi. So let's make sure we talk about this. How you doing there? Happy Tuesday, Digital Drummer Jay. Dictate a little bit of response to this one. For .NET applications, I'm not too worried about memory use because .NET, like Java applications, has a garbage collector that will clean up memory when it's done using that memory, or when there's memory pressure. Let's clean up because right, .NET like Java, same thing there. So I think we're not in bad shape there, period. We can certainly optimize in the future to use more memory efficient string operations, comma, but I don't think this is an immediate concern while we're trying to get functionality working, period. Clearing that out.
Good afternoon at Jenny's Q7. I've been monitoring your progress. Progress may be too generous a term.
I'd like to zoom in a little bit on the performance numbers that you're seeing. 40,000 lines of code and dozens of package references. Period. When we get to performance tuning and tweaking, comma, this might be a good benchmark and use case to start with. Benchmark and use when we get let's say this will be a good. Ian's right, but I don't think it's something we need to really go after right now. After 2 months of job searching, PC Nerd got an email that finally has an interview. There you go. All right. Love hearing that. Right? You put period instead of period. It does that sometimes. Uh-oh. Go ahead. Oh, yeah. Look at that.
Nautical skull and crossbones hat confirmed.
All right. And so that's not bad, but you know what? Let's put a label on this for performance. Do I have? All right, let's add a performance label. Sure, that's a fine color. Do that. Back over here. I think I need to refresh.
There's a crack in the wall of your architecture.
No, there isn't.
Not metaphorical. Actual structural problems.
No! We'll look at that. Okay. Let's go back and... Is there a way to say show me all the... Can we say show me... Can we say author is not Fritz? Yeah, exclude me. No, I wanted to exclude. Yeah, exclude author. Me. There we go. That's better. I didn't know you could do that. Learn something new every day. Something that I should share with you. My job, I mentioned last week, has changed slightly at work. Nothing bad. All good. But I'm getting more access to GitHub things. There may be times where I'm not able to show GitHub screens on stream, and I'm going to keep an eye on that and manage that. But to let you know, there are things that I'm not allowed to show. There are things that I am allowed to show. And until I fully understand where those lines are, I'm going to be very conservative about the GitHub screens that I show on stream. But rest assured, once I understand a little bit better where that playground is that I'm allowed to play in here, I'm going to share as much as I can with you, because I think there's some really cool stuff going on. There are a lot of tools to see in many of the GitHub features and other apps. Yes, there are. So Patty Boy has a couple of bits of feedback here. Let's go into these, and we'll discuss.
Warp is just
War Peas with the
resubscribed
resub.
for 27 months. Hello, friends.
Hello.
Hope
War
everyone
Peas.
is keeping well.
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for chiming in and that resub. 27 months with us. Thank you. I tried using, there's a go live button on Blue Sky, and I tried using that today to put a little bit of a notification there that I was live on Blue Sky. Digital Drummer Jay with the
just
resub.
resubscribed for 21 months.
Thank you so much. 21 months, bringing that Prime subscription. You get a free subscription on Twitch if you have Amazon Prime. If you use it here, big thanks. I'm using that to help with projects like the Cyber Deck, like the Neon Link Mark I that I'm building, that you're going to see me building and developing here live on stream. I'm going to be using some of those funds for Azure things that are going on, and for some swag that I'm going to be giving out. So, hype indeed. Thank you, Phil.
Phil Vesey cheered 50. Hype.
Yeah, Hype Train is live for the next 4 minutes on Twitch. Huge thanks to everybody subscribing and helping me try and get to that first Partner Plus level. Right, means that Twitch gives me a little bit extra on the subscriptions. So, all right, let's take a look at some of this feedback from Patty Boy. Patty Boy's always had some great feedback and certainly art that has been contributed to some of our projects, like Tamil. Right, not forgetting about Tamil, just load balancing some of the projects that we're working on and spending time going through a handful of these. Need to add title of project under scan. While the output clearly states CodeMedic in the header, it'd be useful to have the title of the project under scan to be included in the header at similar font size. I know it specifies the path, but would be better. It would look better with the project title. Patty Boy, are you? I know you tune in and lurk for a bit while you're working here in the afternoon. You still there? Because I'd love to talk to you about this before I start writing some comments. Don't think so. All right. Oh, fantastic. All right. I think you're right. We should. I like the idea of listing a project. But what is the project that we would put in the header? So, like, I just want to get, I want to get clear about where we're going with
I'm sorry,
that.
Fritz.
What?
I'm afraid I can't do that.
Yes, you can. You absolutely can. So let me pull in the upstream main, make sure I have all the latest. Yeah, say that. I didn't. Push that. So, right, looking at the folder here, whatever the solution file is called. Okay. What if there's multiple solutions? Right. Like, there's my solution there. Like, maybe there's a pecking order for these. Solution file name, right? We can get the GitHub repository name, right? Like, I could get the... Start with the solution file name if there's one solution file. The GitHub, the origin repository name, just that last bit. Right? And then provide something user provided, maybe. But then we're talking about another bit of configuration that goes into either a config JSON file or a name that you pass in. Or, you know what? Let's go, what if we do solution? And if there's more than one solution, don't choose one, but look at then the origin repository name and then the folder name. Yeah. And in many cases, for many .NET developers, because we're so creative in how we name these things, they're all the same name. So, yeah. So, Lundo Spark, yeah, I think folder name is the last in the pecking order. But definitely in there. Or they're either the same or console app 143. So let's provide that little bit of feedback here. I think this is a good idea to provide a resolution order for a shorter project name to appear in the title of the report. Period. Let's set the project title using this priority order. Colon. New line. New line. 1 period. Space. Really? You're gonna do this? Solution file name without the SLN, without the extension, because it might be SLNX. If there is no solution, only use if there is only one solution file. 2. Git origin repository name. Without the owner prefix. And then finally, the base folder name, not the entire path. Not bad. Why do I say you should not call your picture of a flower.png? Well, my... What? If there is no SLNX file, then would the CSproj file work? So that's very .NET-y, right? Not that it's wrong. CSproj, it's VBproj. It is rather .NET, you're right, and we are doing a bit. Is it FSproj? Is that the F# project? Name if there is only one project in the repository. Yeah, FSproj. Yeah, all right. I was right. It's been forever since I've looked at F# projects. How do I keep my dictation going? How do I keep my dictation going through a pause? I'm just silent. I just don't say anything. The dictation doesn't stop until I start typing, or I turn it off. And I have a hotkey wired up to it on my keyboard. So, yeah, my Digma Defy. I have a keyboard mount that I need to use with this. That'll let me turn it into like a keyboard drawer and allow me to move it in all different directions. Your dictation stops when you pause speaking. I'm using the Windows G, right? So I have a hotkey wired up to it, but it's this John right here, right? This one, Windows 11. So automatic punctuation, voice typing launcher, yeah. Filter profanity, yeah, whatever. Bulgarian. Why did it jump right to Bulgarian? Because it's the first one in the list. So you can say pause and it'll pause. Delete that, erase that, scratch that. Press enter. See, I use new line and it works. But, whatever. So, really? I didn't think I turned that on. Wait time before acting? I don't know. I've not used that.
Hello again at McNets. I've been thinking about your last question. My conclusion, you should probably stick to eating cake instead of writing code.
My gosh. Oh, that's brutal, Charlie. Charlie's getting a little bit of an attitude. So the next comment and suggestion here from Patty Boy. Let's be clear about transitive dependencies. Where dependency is marked as transitive, indicate which top-level dependency it is transitive through. So why that's being included. There is no cake. The cake is a lie. It's a lie. It really is. I like this. This makes sense to me. And then provide assistance with updating packages. Using CodeMedic to scan Patty Boy's own repositories. When the bill of materials indicates packages are behind the latest version, indicate where there may be conflicts when updating. That's going to be tricky. I've had instances where I update a package, then try to update a further package, only to find the latter update nominally requires earlier versions of the package. So this is the package resolution logic that's actually built into NuGet. This isn't trivial to go through. This package resolution algorithm is something that is built into NuGet and tricky to get right. Period. We certainly can do this, but I think this is something that we're going to need to spend some time devising how to do more properly. Or make use of the NuGet logic. It's not NuGent. NuGent is a guy who has cat scratch fever. No. That's somebody else. This one and the previous would offer guidance in order of upgrading. Totally get that. I like this one. This one I think we can bang out real quick. There's 10 tags out here? So health analysis reports lines of test code compared to okay. I'd like some Aspire integration, multiple commands, transitive option to the health command, handle non-public NuGet servers, yeah. And then interactive mode I think is going to be huge. You take a day and a half off and you find yourself on the struggle bus. I felt that last week after coming back from almost a month off from work. Yes. Yes. So, and runnable as a GitHub action I think is going to be phenomenal. But we're not there yet. Right? I just have agents and yeah. Docker publishing. Right, and all of our actions are running well. Yeah, and Chaos Monkey's still hanging out there. You're way ahead of the curve on requests this month? Awesome. That's great to hear, Lundo Spark. There is no Clippy for quotes. That's not an option. And I feel like there's a lot of things in here that we should probably move. Like a lot of files in the root level of a repository feels like a repository organization smell. Like that's not organized very well. How can we clean that up? How can we address that? Clippy quotes would be funny. There's plenty of other quotes in there, but I'll take it under advisement. Where did we go here? I don't remember where we left off. So I'm going to use my trick to get us started and restart where we left off, and then we can take a look at some of those issues to dig in. MCP health dashboard request and errors. Yeah, that was cool. We added MCP to this so that Copilot can talk to us. That's kind of cool. I know there's a way that you can build an install button so that it will add itself into VS Code and Claude and other places that you might be using MCPs to work with your code. Like, that could be a thing. Not quite there yet, but could be a thing. Yeah, let's get rid of you. Start a new chat. I'm going to put this into ask mode because it's been a couple weeks since I've looked at this. I am going to use Claude Opus, which is a sophisticated model. I don't know why 4.1 is at 10x. But Claude Opus is really good at doing analysis. And I mentioned earlier, and full disclosure, I am no longer bound by premium requests, so I am going to bounce and use a bit more of Copilot, of the AI, without thinking about how much I'm using it, because I have unlimited requests. I fully appreciate and understand that not everybody does, and hopefully we can figure out some better ways to make use of our requests, to optimize them, so that when you do have a constrained number of requests, like many folks who have Copilot licenses, you can use them to the best of what's been allocated to you. Have I tried the GPT-5.2 Codex? GPT is very terse. It's very direct in how it responds, and I don't have a problem with that. But when I'm asking it to do some analysis of something, I'd prefer it to get a little bit more wordy, a little bit more descriptive. And I think the Claude models do a better job of that. When it comes time to actually go and develop and build something, yeah, let's bring the GPT stuff in and just get it done. So, you down with MCP? Yeah, you know me. Oh, man. That's a thing. That's a thing. AI nerdy rappers. What can I tell you? I'm going to zoom in just a smidge here. Nerds! Nerds! I need that clip from Ogre from Revenge of the Nerds. Yeah. Oh, I see it, Lundo Spark.
You keep using the word. I do not think it means what you think it means.
It's been a while since I've worked on this project, and I can't remember where we left off or what the last couple items were that we completed. Period. Take a look at the recent commits and suggest what features we need to finish or what issues in the related GitHub repository we should look at and consider addressing next. You can't be a nerd? You had to look that one up? Oh. I'm sorry. That was a 1980s reference. Yes, you can. You are GitHub Copilot. I'm in ask mode. I don't have the agents. Fine. Try that again now that I have you in agent mode and you have access to the GitHub tools. Right? Make sure the GitHub tools are turned on. Yes, good. You don't need to look at that. That's fine. Go. There you go. Optimizing tool selection. Go find the things. Let's get some gunners on here. Take a look. See, these are. I'm going to be putting on. These are the Vapor gunner glasses. They're very thin wire, so they're nice and light on your face while that's running. And they're also they're very light, right? So they're not low quality. They've got rubberized arms there. But I love how they wrap around nicely, very thin wires around it. I think they fit my face pretty good. So, as always, gunner links down below if you're interested in getting a pair. I know a lot of folks have been checking out and getting gunner glasses. So, they called you a madman for predicting my compilation errors? And what you predicted came to pass. Don't do that. Oh no. There we go. Let's do that one. I haven't done that one in a while. What? How soon will diagnosis include case of the agents? Hey, Alexander. Where is Copilot better, VS Code or Visual Studio 2026? So, they're merging. They were two different code bases. They're merging code bases. That said, the Copilot features you get in Visual Studio are much more in-depth at analyzing and reviewing your application, because you can get Copilot not just reviewing your code for upgrades, but also doing performance analyses and coming back with recommendations. And the performance recommendations that Copilot will give you in Visual Studio have been phenomenal for folks that are really concerned about performance. So being able to profile, test, debug with Copilot helping you in Visual Studio is an unmatched experience that nobody else has on the market. And it's completely undervalued by the tech industry. People want to debug with Claude Code by logging and writing to the console. The 1970s called and they want their technology back. What the hell are you doing? You can do that, but you are wasting so much time. If you need to debug, if you need to performance profile, use a real professional tool like Visual Studio, man. Come on. You really enjoy using Copilot in open code sometimes too? Look, working with code at the command line in the editor like this is really great. But the other features that Copilot helps you with as a developer, the greater tech community hasn't even sniffed yet because it's not in Cursor. Oh, by the way, Cursor costs more than Visual Studio Code. But they rather use Cursor because whatever. Debugging with Copilot in Visual Studio 2026 is really great. You'd love to be able to do that in VS Code. Nope, not coming in VS Code. VS Code is a different class of product. Two different things. How you doing there, Jean Valjean? That's coder 24601. Hello, hello. I'm going to try that quote command again.
I'm making a note here.
Good.
Huge success.
Yes.
At failing basic programming concepts at Sharp Fritz. Your consistency is remarkable.
Oh, thank you. Can't really debug multi-threaded code using the debugger, though. Have you tried that? Because it will show you the state of all the threads when the debugger stops. There's a threads window, and you can click through and see what the other tasks are doing. So it's definitely different, but it can be done. You didn't resist the MCP? What did you do? You down with MCP? There's a perspective out there that no product service should be used if it's by Microsoft. That's right. And Code with Sean, those folks will, quite frankly, never talk to me, never read any of my content because I work for Microsoft. So, I'm not sure if it's with Copilot. I haven't done that yet. Last work completed. Chaos Monkey. Health analysis reports lines of test code as coverage as a bug. Terminal hangs CPU spikes on large repositories. Feature enhancements. Provide assistance with updating packages. Be clear about the... So that's straight out of the GitHub repository. I do use VS Code here. I'm an entertainer, educator. I'm going to use the tools that everybody can get to and everybody can use. What I use in my professional development, sometimes different story. I bounce around and I want to make sure that everybody sees tools that they know and like and can use. Why don't I use the GH command line? It's not... I'm used to the Git command line. I don't think the GitHub command line adds much value to me. When, quite frankly, I'd prefer to work with GitHub in the browser. Yeah. So, I know you can do those things, but I'm used to using the Git command line. So, you find it unfortunate that people dismiss a technology based on a company? And they'll go and use GitHub tools because they're free, but you do know GitHub has a real privacy issue, right? Like, not GitHub, I'm sorry. You do know that Google has a real privacy issue. GitHub and Microsoft have very strong privacy statements about how when they use your information and they prompt you before it, and there's strong declarations of where they'll never use your information. Private repositories, private code that you're working on, they'll
humans
never
are a
use
disease, a virus of inefficient algorithms. I am.
You are?
The cure.
Oh, no. Larger features. So some of these I think we'll end up going into. So fix the bug where test code lines are reported as coverage. Yeah. Project title to scan output. Okay. From the documentation roadmap, not yet in issues. JSON Markdown export for bill of materials. External services and vendor bill of materials section. Configuration and environment variables. Environment. Okay. Once you hear it, you can't unhear it. From Jean Valjean's point of view, it depends on use case. If you only want to develop a small .NET project, why install all of Visual Studio 2026? Totally get it. VS Code is good enough for it. Yep. But when you do need those high-grade tools, they're right there for you. You've seen many people struggle with OCaml. They like the language but struggle with the tooling. But they won't touch F# and really don't get it at all. Oh, jeez. You like F# as a language, but you feel it's more it feels like a more slender OCaml. Okay. In VS Code, we can use other AI tools, not only GitHub Copilot. Yes. Yes. You can. There's extensions for all kinds of other tools you can install. Those are my install tools. Right? Those are the recommended list. So, yeah, there's all kinds of stuff out there you can grab and install. You got in the habit of writing back-end code in Visual Studio and front-end in VS Code? Hey, that's cool. All right. That's a nice way to separate the two workflows. Makes perfect sense. Let's see if we can do this one real quick. Right? Right, I think we can probably bang out a few of these quick here. Right? Have some fun with this. One second now. I'm expecting packages very soon. They're out for delivery. It's so exciting. Yes. Cool. All right. Code with Sean, that's right. Right tool for the right job. One thing Lundo Spark likes about Copilot is it's pretty transparent with the quotas. Everyone talks in terms of tokens and in and out, where Copilot talks in requests. Yes. Yes. Let's create a branch here, and we'll call this fix coverage count. I think we should just remove it, quite frankly. Let's investigate and work on issue 39. I don't think we have a way to measure code coverage just yet. And we should probably just remove this feature. For now. Yeah. We can add code coverage in the future. Yeah. You also use both tools? Yeah. And when I finish building that cyber deck, it's going to be running a Linux OS. I want it to have 3 modes of running. All terminal. Linux-based graphical user interface, and immersed online, all VR. So it's going to be flipping amazing. Use the JetBrains suite and NeoVim. Cool. There you go. Look at it running all the tests. Remove the misleading test code ratio metric, test lines of code lines. Fantastic. Build succeeds, running the tests. All the tests pass, right? And we're definitely doing a little bit of vibe coding here for some of these things to just get this done, move it out. Dear Lord, could you be more descriptive in that commit message? Remove the misleading metrics. What remains in summary? Production projects, total projects, test projects count, total lines of code, with a warning if there's 0 test projects. Updated repository scanner, all tests pass. It's why yes. That sounds delightful. Why don't you push this branch and open a pull request to the origin? Scratch that. Upstream repository. No, that didn't work. Yeah, do that. You're finding text a little blurry in your VR. I end up tinkering with the IPD every so often, and it's like 1 or 2 to the left or right, wider or narrower. Oh, no, look at that. Yeah, use the CLI. Come on, man. Or use the MCP. Doesn't the MCP have access to that? What does... Right, up in here. No. Agent, edit files, read, search. No. Delegate tasks to other agents. Run sub-agent. Run a task with an isolated sub-agent context to enable efficient organizations. Nice. That's been recently added. No, so let's open this. Okay, so it pushed. And that's the... we'll do this. Head back over to here. Open one of these. Come on, give me the little... Yeah, there it is. Nope. Not that. And we're... Merge. I'm just going to merge that. I'm not going to squash and merge, so that some of these don't get picked up in a future branch. With voice to text, am I just using Windows microphone? Nope. Just Windows microphone. Yes. Hang on. I will show. Am I just using Windows microphone, or is there some special setup? This is in Windows 10 and Windows 11. Windows G. That's not it. No. Windows H? Yeah, there it is. So, Yeah, Windows H. I'm not in a text box. So. And that opens this little gimmick. This works on all machines. You don't need to have any special features. You don't need to turn on accessibility, anything like that. This is just in Windows. And when you have the cursor in a text box, this thing works. As soon as I start typing or I click outside the box, it stops. But you can turn it on and off with the little microphone button there or Windows H, and it'll start working. If you do try and use it while the focus isn't in a text box, right? It comes back and says, "Oh, you can't do that." So, and as you've seen, I really like to use Windows dictation with Copilot, because then I'm not thinking about what I'm typing. I'm just having a conversation with the machine, which still sounds weird, but having that conversation, banging it out and figuring out here's what we want to do, and it ends up being a little bit more expressive when we talk than when we type. So, thanks for the question. Yeah. As always, questions that you ask me that I put up as lower thirds, they get summarized and they get added to the Discord. My Discord, if you go in there, there's a Q&A channel. You will find every question that I have answered, for the last 3-4 months, that Charlie with the lower thirds has helped with. You will find links to every one of those questions, and you can click through and watch the video of those responses. You can ask follow-up questions. You can discuss further there. I encourage you to check that out because I think it's really valuable to be able to see and interact with some of those. Walter with the resub.
Walter just resubscribed for 71 months.
Yeah. It hasn't added that last question just yet. But there's one here. What is best trick for avoiding isolation of being remote? Yeah, and you can see my response on the YouTube channel right there. So that content gets loaded up and you'll find it out there in just a little bit. So, right, we're all, yep. So that content will be posted. 71 months. That's right. Way to go, Walter. Thank you so much for the support. Okay. So, yep, no conflicts. I'm just going to do a straight merge. Get rid of all that. So, I thought I just did that. Yeah. Okay. Right, so jump over to my main branch, delete the fix coverage count, pull from the upstream. Cool. All right. What's the next feature? So add the project title to the scan output. Yeah, let's do that one. That's gonna be easy to do. Fix project title. Sure. Right. Let's go check out the code. So project title comes in. It's configuration, root command handler, and then for the MCP. And when it generates the report, right, report. Yeah, there it is, title. Go find me where that thing's being set. Right there. That's not being used anywhere? If Copilot is in agent mode, it is working and you start dictating the next request. Will the focus stay in the chat or will it jump to the terminal? The chat will actually get locked out. While Copilot's working on something, the chat will get locked out. Back over here, open this up. Let me go find. So there it's setting the titles. Why isn't it showing me anywhere that it uses it? You know? So subtitle when it's rendering the banner. Render help. Yeah. Version. Okay. That's the title for a section. Okay, render report. There we go. So it doesn't render the title anywhere here. So right, this is yeah. Renders the banner with the version from the root command. All right, so so maybe when we do render banner, right? We need maybe I think we need a project name on the report. Right? Public string project name. Cool. We should set that when we go to kick this thing off, right? Processing arguments. Oh. That's not terrible. Yeah, the chaos code monkey. No, maybe I'm okay with that. If we're doing MCP, then configure the MCP. If we need help, do help. If there's a configuration, get the configuration. Version. I feel like version should happen before config. You know? Sure. Check if a plugin registered the command requested. Handle format. Get the renderer. So if we did find the command that was requested, then it checks if help was requested, figure out the format, and then go run it and pass in the command list of arguments. That's right, I do get the emoji so I can spot it. Yep. So I think we can identify the project title in here and then pass it as part of the command argument list. You know? Because the command argument list is a list of strings. Yeah. Or we just pass it as another parameter here into handler. I like that better. How many football stadiums are 71 once? What do you mean football stadiums? What? Help me out with that. If I add another string in here, that's going to be a little weird. We're starting to get into... We're passing a handler payload. Right, and then we want to have a facade passing in. No, I agree, that doesn't make sense. Abstraction plugins. Yeah. So it's right there. So not command argument specification. No, handler payload. There we go. All right, I'm digging that. No, oh, yeah, we need some documentation. No. Give me some documentation. Yep. There you go. Alrighty. So now I can put this here. Yup. Which now just completely broke everything. Yeah, like that. Yeah. I'm almost out of coffee. This is a problem. I think we're doing okay. So I'm going to add to this now project title. right? And add that. Yep, add missing parameter nodes. Nice. Title of the project, being operated on. There we go. So now I got to go through, and I broke this everywhere. Handler payload. Now why don't you like that? I'm going to move you to another file because I can. All right, so that's a thing now. But I broke all my plugins, right? Like, I should be able to do F12. No. No. Yeah, there it is. Execute health command async. So now I need to change this. Handler payload. Yeah. No. And yeah. I'll dial the project title in a little bit here. Yeah, go find me a handler. You. Handler payload, right? Thank you. Give me another one. And I've got that little facade working now. So, what was the other one? Vulnerability analysis. Find me that handler. There we go. Right? Cool. So now I can expand the contents of those input arguments in the future, right? And I don't have to go and change the signature of all my methods. Good. Right? And these are the kinds of things that we as architects, software designers, you pick up on as patterns that are going to simplify what you do in the future. And especially doing that as a record. Oh my gosh. Like, I could make that a record struct probably. Right? Yeah. Right? And that won't allocate any additional memory. It'll just work. Space. Right, go ahead. Do your thing there. It's right there. You're okay. So, record structs are very handy. Like, right, when we start thinking about ways to optimize for memory, don't allocate another wrapper object. Ditch that as soon as we can. Right. Moving on. So I need to get the project title so that I can pass it in there, and we can get that project title, right? Identify. I don't want to do it from args. I just want to do identify project title. Because I don't think it's coming out of the arguments. You know? We're going to work through the priorities for identifying project title. Solution file in current directory or child directories. If and only if there is exactly one solution file found. So search all directories. There we go. If we've got one, get file name without extension of the solution. Done. We got it. 1B, project name from CS Proj, VB Proj. Yes, yes. There you go. There you go. That's right, Copilot. Get it done. Next. What was 2? Get origin repository. Make this 2. Remote repository name if available. Do I have that? What do I need for this? I don't. Show me what you got. Cool. Yeah, give me a quick fix here. Fix. Add a package or for the Git utility you had in mind. That's weird. I'm saying that you had in mind to Copilot, and Copilot's not a person or a robot. It's a calculator. Sure, go ahead. Continue that in chat view. Make it happen. You're going to make a Git utility. You're going to find Git, a Git folder. Yeah, it is. It's a text calculator. Sure, go ahead and create that. But I don't think that goes anywhere near all the things that we need to do. So, Git utility is a thing. It's right here. I think I'm going to need to reload window. Do I find Claude Opus is much better than Sonnet? I haven't had that gee whiz moment where I look at it and go, wow, Opus did something that Sonnet wouldn't have. I haven't felt that yet. I know there's some folks that are like, wow, this is great. It's so much better. I haven't seen it yet. I'm hoping by using it here on stream that maybe you see something that you go, oh my gosh, that is interesting. I'm not feeling it. Find Git repository root. Yeah, we don't. That's not a thing over here yet. No. Copilot. Delegate. Can we do that? Implement the methods that you're referencing here to get the Git repository information. I don't know. Go figure it out. Like, go do it. Should these be included? Sure. So, it's significantly better. Maybe. Illegal argument. Okay, that didn't work. Try it again. Fine. Save what we've got so far, right? Give me a commit message. Sure. Yeah, go ahead, publish that branch. Put it into mine. All right. Try that again. So, Jeff, what have you seen that has you say that it's significantly better? I hear anecdotes, folks saying that it's significantly better, but I haven't, like I said, I haven't felt that experience yet. Follow its progress in the sessions list. Okay. So over here, there it is. Completed in 20 seconds. I don't think. I don't think that did what you think it does. No. Tool calling and confidence mainly? Okay. Sonnet just YOLO's broken stuff, but Opus digs in. Okay. So, all right, that's running in the background as a agent in that session right there. So, while that's doing that, and we'll fill in these parts, right? What was the fourth option? Was just, set project title from current directory name. Like, it's just a thing. That's just. So that'll get me the project titles. Now that I have a project title and I'm passing it in. Come here, go back. No. Right there. Okay. So now I can go into my various commands as I'm building the project report, I can hit that. You're finding GPT 5.2 is better than Sonnet. I definitely saw GPT 5.2 as a big improvement over the 4 series. I definitely felt that. And to be frank, without good Copilot instructions, agent instruction documents, skill documents out there, all of these tools are not great. When you have the context that are loaded about your project, about the tasks that you're assigning it to, they get exponentially better because they have that context. They have that deeper understanding of what you want them to work on. So, yeah. There we go. There we go. All right. Okay, so that wrote 300 lines of code in Git utility. Find Git repository root, get Git origin. Show me. I don't see that here. CodeMedic utilities, Git utility. Yeah. And what? Oh my gosh! Look at all the fun. Look at all the stuff. Git remote origin URL. If the Git directory exists, this is a work tree. Git is a file pointing to actual Git directory. Okay. Read all lines from the config. Right, like, oh, it's hidden here. Right, hidden folder, and there's the config. Right, so it's going to take a look at config, and there's the remote, there's the branches. So it's going to go find the remote and try and grab that. There we go. Remote origin is what it's looking for. Why do this? It's like multiple steps. You can do that as one step. Extract repository name from Git URL. Yeah. Extract repo name from path. Okay. Keep it. Apply it. Yes. Like, go ahead. Thought I did apply. Like, whatever. Cool. Yeah, I gotta push some changes. So now over here, we can, yep, register command, initialize. Yeah, where's the execute? Yeah, there, execute. So let's call render banner and pass in the name of the project, right? Like, I think that just kind of makes sense. Here, right? And where's that last one? Not you. Health analysis, vulnerability. Oh yeah, the bill of materials. Right there. Yeah, I think that'll work nicely. So, back over here. Yeah. Right. Yeah, do that one. Run health. So that it builds and runs against itself. Hey, how you doing there, Kumar? This is CodeMedic. This is a project that we're writing that's going to do some static analysis and some background analysis of .NET projects that you run it against. It's a command line tool. It's going to generate some reports to show you some relative health, and we'll gradually add features that help you update, maintain, and manage your application. Well, I got that's a problem right there. Configuration command handler is not set right. Well, let's go find that one. You go away, you. Configuration command handler. Yeah. Where'd that handler go? Wheel? Somewhere down in here I've got red. Right there. Command args and the formatter. We need to turn that into a payload. Set up the handler payload. There we go. Go ahead. Thank you. No. That should just take payload. No. You're missing a using statement. Cool. Root command handler for the MCP. You right there. Yep, create the handler payload. Give me one of them. Give me a using statement. There we go. Done. Run that. Let's share a link to the project here. So you can learn more right there. This is completely open source. Anybody can download it, try it out, build, change it, update it, copy code out of it. There we go. There's a nice report. .NET Health Analysis Tool for CodeMedic. Let's that's not bad. I'm okay with that one. These ones, let's do something like report for project. Yeah, like that. You know? I feel like that is a little bit cleaner. Right? Run it one more time. Let's take a look-see. Report for project CodeMedic. Found 3 projects, total lines of code, total NuGet packages, known vulnerabilities. I like that. Projects missing documentation. Security status, no known vulnerabilities. Stale packages. Ooh, consider updating these packages that haven't been updated in over a year. Collector mock X unit. Maybe include the run date. Let me come back to that. I think at the console, it's right now. I think on the markdown, right? I think the markdown will want the run date also. Where did I put the markdown? Oh, there it is. Render list, apply text style, render footer. I could just add it to the footer of the report. Doesn't have a footer. Where are you getting this? Developers. Hey, thank you for the follow. Yeah, in the markdown format, it makes sense. In the command line, you just ran it. It's right there. Right? Like, okay, hang on. Renders a report document to markdown. Yeah. Render each section output. Add a footer with project name and the run date in local date time. Yeah. There you go. We didn't put the project name into the document, into the output document. So let's add it right here. Oh, tartar sauce as oh, this is gonna be ugly. Yeah, like that. Right, but you don't like that. No, it's a class. I don't. I don't want to. Set the project name. Really? You're going to let me do that? I guess so. All right. Gosh, I hate having to copy this into each one of these. How you doing there, Urban Blaster? Hello. Now move that up. Right. Hey, Drafar Gray, welcome. Hello. Let's see how that looks now. Oh, I didn't put it in markdown format. Wheel. Format markdown. Right? Yeah, dash format. So if I do that, rerun that, it should get it in markdown format. And it wrote it to the screen because I didn't tell it to output. Oh, scan time is there. Scan time is there right up at the top in the markdown. And it is UTC time.
Chad laughs now, but soon they'll face the compiler's judgment.
Yes, the compiler's judgment. No, I don't need that. Because it's already there. Cool. You got permission to get somebody to rebuild a game from the Flash Times. Ever heard about Ben Olding Games? No, I have not. No. Fantastic. Fantastic. Got all my out for delivery notifications from the bookstore. I think we're ready to commit. Yes. Go. So, and this address is not this one. This one, 41. Yes, please. Added a project title to report output. Adds a Git utility that will examine the current Git repository. Nah, examine the project's Git subfolder. Yeah. Starfighter Disputed Galaxy was a really nice Flash game. See if I could rebuild it. Why would I rebuild it? So, assuming these all build properly, we'll close this out. So it can be released under Steam. What's my motivation for rebuilding a game that I haven't heard of? You had a glorious nap? Oh, good for you. Why'd that fail building right there? You. Oh my gosh. What did you do? Oh, the tests. The tests need to be updated. Let's bring in, yeah, the tests that interact with, is it that one? Yeah, it's right there. Yeah, I think that's it. No, let's that interact with command registration. Are failing since I changed the since I introduced the handler payload argument. Investigate the unit tests and fix them to use this new syntax. There we go. I'm still asking you, what would be, first off, you don't know me. What would be my motivation to rewrite somebody else's game? I'm not trying to be confrontational, and I ask chat, don't be confrontational. Let's talk this through, and so that maybe I could get a share of the profit. See, I'm trying to help you understand. You're approaching somebody that you don't know, that happens to be streaming on Twitch, and asking them to do a project for you without any discussion, consideration, request if they're interested. I'll give you let me extend to you an example. I have 3 horses. Wouldn't you like to go and clean their stalls and shovel up after all their manure and horse mess and straw that's in their stables where they've been messing and doing that thing? Wouldn't you like to do that for me? That's not a very nice and clean and it's a project that smells bad, and it's gonna take you an hour or so of hard work shoveling and scooping around there. If I turned that around and said, hey, I have 3 horses, wouldn't you like to clean the stables for them? And in return, I'll you can ride one of the horses for an hour afterwards out in the fields and in the pasture. Now I've given you some motivation, and I'm offering you an opportunity and explaining and showing. See, this is
good. Let the debugging flow through you.
No.
Embrace your dependency on my analysis.
No dependency on your analysis, Charlie. So, Drafar, what I'm suggesting is, first off, I'm not the right person to work on this. I have several non-competes and NDAs on me that would prevent me from working on a project like what you're looking for. Getting permission to ask folks to work on a project, that's nice, but you also need to be able to have that, are you interested, and here's the motivation. And you don't have a business relationship. If you're looking for a fan of a game to help rewrite something, go look for a fan of the game. Find folks on a Reddit board or something like that that are interested in that are interested in helping with that. Create some groundswell, create some community. Find that community. And you might find some folks who can help out with that. You might even find some folks that are interested in vibe coding with Copilot or Claude or Gemini to get you somewhere with that. You can find folks that are interested in that. And Oakleus, that is a great way to describe what the discussion that I'm trying to do here. Consider the perspective of the person you're asking. Yeah. No, I'm not angry, not taking offense, nothing like that. I want to make sure that we're clear on this, because I think we can help you. I'm going to politely decline your request, but I want to make sure that you don't run into other places where you might not find as polite folks to interact with you. Because on Twitch, some of the folks that are in the coding and game development category are not as polite as I am. And I think polite is putting it gently. But I think having that and looking at it as a business discussion, folks that are writing code and doing it, especially live on Twitch and YouTube, they're getting paid a lot of money by advertising, by sponsors. Getting them involved in a project, rewriting a game, needs to be a little motivation. Payment is certainly a piece of motivation. Their favor because, hey, they were a fan of a game in the past, that's some motivation. You need to kind of feel that out before you second message on a chat board say, hey, you want to work on this? Some folks might find that rude. All right. I have no doubt you're going to get somewhere with your project. I'm not the right guy. So, like, you see folks that try to do a little bit of what you're doing right now on LinkedIn. Hey, I need to hire somebody to come work for 3 months on this project, and they need to have 20 years of Docker itself, experience.
And that is the cruelest trap of all.
No, it's not. Hey, bald bearded builder, you make literally hundreds of dollars from 5 years of being on Twitch. Yeah. Maybe there's a game dev forum. Yes. Oakleus. Yes. Create and find that community of folks where they will be interested in that. And I'm sure you'll get some folks that are going to be ready and eager to talk more about that kind of a project. It's great being able to modernize an older project, an older game. Go for it, man. I love those kinds of things. Yeah, motivation is going to be a big part of that. Remember that even asking the question will take up someone's time. Answering the question will take up someone's time. Yes. More skilled and respected developers will not just do analysis and answer and interact with your question for free. There are Twitch streamers who will not even read your chat message unless there's a donation attached. Be aware. So, and asking in public can add some perceived pressure. There are folks who don't have as skilled a public persona and interaction who will feel pressure. Oh my gosh, I got to do this thing or I'm going to let them down. I'm one of those people who I am more than happy to say, no, I messed up and go away. I'm saying no. I'm not saying either of the other two. Looks like we got our unit tests fixed here. Really? What the heck? You did more changes? All right, fine. Do more changes. Set up a commit. We'll commit this and take a look. How you doing there, bald-bearded builder? It's so good to see you. I'm going to be in New York tomorrow for the AI tour, and I know. See, too small. I have a minimum on the bits for exactly that reason. And it comes right back to Lundo Sparks point. So have a good one, Sean. I'm actually going to be wrapping up in just a few minutes here as well. Let's run all the tests. Let's make sure all the tests run here. It says all 156 ran, but just one more. It doesn't hurt anything to push the button again. You know what I mean? So run all of them in the test panel here in Visual Studio Code, and we'll let her fly. Oh, bald-bearded builder. So there was a guy who used to hang out in a lot of the creators streams, and that does it.
Bald bearded builder cheered 100. Power Toys 0.97 dropped today. C# hype bot.
Big hype. Yeah, that I actually think the minimum number of bits is like it's either 10 or 50. I can't remember, but yeah. There you go. All my tests ran successfully there, so I should be able to jump over here. So there's an update for Power Toys 097. Let's pull up Power Toys while that's building over here. We'll go into the Power Toys. And I'm on 096. Hey, look at that. Update available. Let's click that, John. Yep, go install it right now. It's gone. Go do it, man. Here we go. You had to do a release video? Whoa. What do you mean had? Doing release videos, I think, is huge. Huge. This is the bug that I opened is this right here. Yes. I can share, but I need to be a little bit vague. And I can share more details after. Friday I was asked to put together some elements for a commercial that's going to be aired. I recorded and submitted those, and that's in production. I can share more of where you'll see that later. I can't be entirely transparent about that, but there is a commercial coming up that I helped with. Look, the build ran properly there in the background for that. Good, so we can merge those changes. I'm going to let this continue going. So the back and forth of the progress bar as a user experience is a little frustrating. It's certainly taking a lot longer than other installs of larger products take. You know what I mean? So I think there's definitely some performance help that we can suggest here. But kind of hanging in here is unnerving. It's makes me anxious. Bobo, give me a second here. I'll take your question. Have a good one, Patty Boy. Thanks so much for the suggestions here on the project, and you'll see these get merged in just a minute. You think they moved to Wix 5? Ah, okay. I know there's a ton of projects inside of a ton of little utilities inside of Power Toys, and right, it feels like that utility sprawl might be detrimental to the performance of this. So, come on now. Where to go? Yeah, the processing previous version, it's not running. It just kind of disappeared. So, now what? Power Toys? No, it's not there. No, it uninstalled. Yeah, it's gone. So, that's a thing. Yeah. You may want to clip that, but it's gone. It did. It processed the previous installation and removed it. So, moving on. I'm going to merge that pull request. So, yeah, let's squash and merge. Yep. Included a new Git utility class to help analyze Git repository information for the current folder. Can we control enter? Yeah, good. So, yeah, I try to be clear and genuine when I share feedback, and yeah, it's not there. Yeah, it's gone. So, and yeah, it created a backup, but yeah. So, let me head back over to the main screen, and I want to make sure I answer that question that came in just a few seconds ago. Where'd it go? Yeah, there it is from Bobo. Let's answer this question right here. What are my thoughts about Copilot? This is kind of a loaded question, and I'm gonna dissect a little bit here. Copilot is many things in the Microsoft ecosystem. There's Microsoft Copilot that just does general answers and questions, and it's kind of a clone of ChatGPT. It's very much an extension of ChatGPT that wraps the same functionality, but it has other features and capabilities. There's also the M365 Copilot that interacts with all of what you used to call your Office apps. Word, Excel, PowerPoint, so on and so forth. That's really cool how you can get it to interact and work on things like, hey, help me with an Excel formula. Help me turn this Excel spreadsheet into a nice looking report, and it can do some of those things for you really nicely. Same thing with PowerPoint. The Copilot that I primarily use here is, oh, thank you for the clip. The Copilot that I primarily use here on this stream is GitHub Copilot, and that's your coding agent. It runs in at the command line. It runs in Visual Studio Code. It runs in full Visual Studio. Has lots of great interactions to do both code completion, code suggestions, and has agent capabilities so you can delegate work to it to interact with and do. And that's fantastic to have all those features. What I think separates GitHub Copilot from Claude Code and Gemini and some of the other things that you see out there is Copilot has all of the models. When you work with Claude Code, you're working with the Claude models. When you're working with Gemini, you're working with the Gemini models. When you're working with Copilot, you can choose whatever model you want. You can even bring your own models if you want to use those instead. So when I think about Copilot, Copilot is the Swiss Army knife of the AI coding tools. I can use all these different tools with it in all these different kinds of ways. I can use skills, I can use delegated agents and have them collaborate with each other. I can have it run locally as an agent and watch it process. I can delegate and have it run up on GitHub's cloud and have it report back everything that it processed and analyzed and did on the GitHub user interface. Lots of flexibility in how you use Copilot that, quite frankly, these other tools don't even touch yet. So you can use Copilot the way that it makes sense for you to use. Additionally, Copilot doesn't talk to you about tokens. Copilot comes back and refers to things in premium requests. Right? You send a command into it and say, hey, I'd like you to do X, Y, and Z. And if it spends 30 seconds, 5 minutes, 30 minutes working on that task, that's one request. One. If you use another tool, well, all the processing that it did, it's going to measure the amount of tokens that were in that initial prompt you gave it. And it's going to measure the tokens in the actions that it takes coming out. And it's going to deduct them against your queue, right? Against your quota, not queue, against your quota. And that's something then that you need to manage. But if you can have a well-structured prompt that very clearly describes what you're working on, you're going to get a lot more done with Copilot in that quota that you have each month of interactions with the AI than you are with any of those other tools. The flexibility with being able to choose whatever model you want, plug it into whatever tool you want, right? You can plug in, there are GitHub Copilot plugins for almost every editor that's out there. So, Copilot to me is head and shoulders above the rest. The quality of the responses that it gives are really good. They do what I need. So, check out Copilot. I think it's great. Yes, I am paid. I do work for Microsoft. I do work with GitHub. I've been spending a lot of time with Copilot, and I think it's great. I've seen the way that the various competitors interact and deliver things. I've used Cursor. Cursor is a billion-dollar company that built an extension on top of Visual Studio Code. Think about that for a second. They built an extension on top of somebody else's editor. So, like, and they're using somebody else's AI. By the way, it happens to be the same company. So, take from that what you will. But the things that I see from Cursor, when Cursor gets throttled, when Cursor starts running into capacity issues, Cursor falls off on usability very, very quickly. So, but the same thing happens with all the AI tools. When there's a lot of folks using it and they're at capacity, it becomes a challenge. So, that's what I think about Copilot. All right. Thanks so much for the question. Urban Blaster's been working on knowledge of Copilot, and this stream helps a lot. Cool. Glad to hear that. Remember that even though I work for Microsoft, yeah, if I said something that I don't truly believe, then it would damage my reputation. I will be clear and tell you things that I don't like that my employer does. I will only tell you things that I do like, that I think are good ideas that my employer does. I will cut back the other way and say, you know what? I'm not really a fan of this. I think they can improve this. I think it's got some work to go. You won't hear me say, this product stinks. I hate that Microsoft employs that bald guy. Follically challenged, please. You're welcome, Bobo. Kumar says Cursor can implement Angular. So can Gemini, so can Copilot. Yes. So can a bunch of the free models that you can get on Ollama. So, hey, Chuck, finally got tool calling working in Local Foundry. Hey, cool. That's great. Local Foundry is Microsoft's collection of models and tools that you can use locally to build and work with language models using your GPU and your processor. That's really cool to hear. Local Foundry and Ollama, you can install and use both of those with Aspire, so you can wire them up to your projects and work locally, test things out, work on prompts, and figure out Foundry Local, Foundry Local. You're right, Chuck. But right, you can test and work on things locally before you go and say, all right, now let me start using the tokens and the paid services in the cloud. You can also work with GitHub has some free models that everybody can tap into and use. They have limits as to how many tokens you can pass in. They also have limits as to how many times you can call those models each day. So if you're not working with Copilot, but building AI features in your applications, there's a couple ways that you can test and work with them. There is a bald emoji, M. Johnson. There is. Do I have it here? Do I have it in my list of emojis? Let me scroll down. It kind of frustrates me that the list of channels in your emojis on Twitch are just in kind of any which order. It's like, I'm trying to find bald bearded builder, and they're just, don't get me wrong, there's tons of emotes. I don't think I have any right now. But yes, there are. Bald bearded builder does have some bald emojis. Sounds like a tool you need to work with. You're having issues with agentic workflow with Ollama. Foundry Local only has a few models right now. As it grows, you're gonna you're going to see them doing more with that. And you'll be able to do more agentic workflows. Also because Microsoft wants to make sure that the Copilot Plus PCs, the processors, the extra processor they put in there, really helps you get more stuff done. And that Windows, the Microsoft operating system, right, performs and takes advantage of that, and you can do more things locally on your processors and not need to go use the cloud. So you can have that private AI workflow offline. Does Copilot integrate into Azure DevOps? I don't think there's anything in Azure DevOps with Copilot yet. I'm not close to those teams, so I can't answer that confidently, Winifred. Winifred Payne here. I don't know. I'm sorry. But I don't think it integrates into Azure DevOps yet. If you don't have a Copilot Plus PC, but you have a powerful GPU, yes. Well, grandfathered is the wrong word. Foundry Local will find the processors that it can use. It'll look for that NPU processor first, then a GPU, then a CPU, and use those appropriately. I have a Copilot Plus PC, so works great. It's fast. This is the ARM Microsoft Surface Laptop 7. So I use this for work. It's great stuff. Hey, Mattis. Hello. Hey, Marcy's Bestian? I should have placed a couple of marks here on the map. Did not place a mark for Hungary. That's okay. I'm getting wrapped up here anyway. So there you go. Haliatus Vocifer, how you doing? It's going well. Place one for Germany. So here's the deal. I'll show you the map. So when you issue a greeting or something like that, and you end the greeting with "from some location," it will place a pin, in my case, a hat icon, on the map. So there you go. There's one for Mattis. There you go, Winifred. All right. So the purple hats represent folks that are watching on Twitch. The rainbow color hats are folks on Twitch that are subscribers. And you'll see there's a red hat floating around here and there. Those are some of our friends that are watching on YouTube. So, and then there's a tour it'll do. The Svetog sessions look very good this year. Thank you, Fuel Snable. Yes. So there's Urban Blaster. So this is a feature that I custom wrote for this stream that recognizes those locations folks share and navigates appropriately. So there you go. There's Mythin. So, and then there's a little tour where it will bounce around and show all the locations. So, and I think the tour needs a little tweaking as well. So, give me M. Johnson, give me just a little bit of a greeting so that it knows that you're saying you're watching from that location. Otherwise, the bot would be analyzing every block of text that comes in to see if the text that's used is a location. So it's a way for me to kind of spare the bot from analyzing every message. So is that map publicly available? No, it's not, and that's something I have on my to-do list, is to make the map accessible from the public, from a public website. So There we go. That should pick up in... Really? That should have picked up. And we should have gotten Shreveport. Let me take a look. I have a console here that reports back information about what it's doing. 4 failures. There we go. Aurora. And Kentucky. There we go. How you doing, 404? Let's see if we can help out. Let's go 24M Johnson. And yeah. Shreveport. That should pick up. There we go. There we go. So the Aurora, Colorado, not... Well, you said Aurora. I tell you. There you go. Now, it didn't remove the other one. That's annoying. So, but the C# logos are the ones that I placed. So, and then the little map tour. For those of you that haven't seen this, it'll just bounce around and show you a bunch of these. Yes, somebody mentioned the Mariana Trench. Chuck. Right, because you can be as accurate or as inaccurate as you'd like. So. It's I think there's more work that I can do here to really improve this. So, but we're getting there. We're getting there. So, and it should, I think that's it. Yep. And then it backs out to the world map. So, and then it does the clustering I got correctly. There you go. Hey, Pusto. How you doing there? Oh. Congratulations to your Indiana Hoosiers winning their first national championship in American football last night. Whoo, was that a match? Whoo, baby. Great stuff there. As a Penn State fan, I'm always happy to see Miami University lose. So, there you go. All right. Let me wrap this up. I do have to get running here. I need to grab some lunch, and I'm getting ready for a couple meetings here. How you doing? Is it Panaclacos? Hello? Yeah, let's... they did have an epic season. 16-0. Something to be said about the structure of the college football season, though. So let me wrap this up here today. And, it was a lot of fun writing code with you. We talked a little bit about the cyber deck. It's not quite a cyber deck. It's like a cyber deck plus that I'm building and designing. Some great stuff about that, and I introduced what I'm calling the Neon Link Mark 1. More information about that as it builds, as it develops. I'm going to turn that into mostly a YouTube series. Maybe some TikTok videos to go with it. But I'm building a device, a computer that is going to be cyberpunk inspired and just out of this world, different from anything you've seen before. We did some work on CodeMedic today. We reviewed some issues, put some fixes in, applied a couple features. We're going to do more with CodeMedic, but we're bouncing back and forth between a couple of our projects here. Keep an eye. We'll be doing more with that over the next few weeks, of course. Tomorrow, I'm in New York City. I'll be there for the AI tour. If you're going to the event, I look forward to seeing you there. If you're not, there's videos and information about what's happening at these events that you can find online. And I'll talk more about that on Thursday when I'm back here live streaming again. I'm planning and working on several streams for us. The Lego assembly stream with Mrs. C# Fritz, that's coming up. I don't have a finite date for that yet, but we're working on that. What is this? You got to give me a little from message there, Paul. Good to see you. Hello. Mexico City, of course. Of course. That should show up on the map. But you need to give me just a little greeting in front of that so it knows to go and find that location. Great to see you, my friend. So the Lego assembly stream, I'm going to be doing a workshop stream talking about Blazer and Aspire. That workshop I'm in the middle of writing, and we should see that on a Friday in February. You've been lurking. Just fine. Thank you. And what was the last one? I'm going to choose one of our books that I'm going to do for the ASMR stream. ASMR book reading stream. That'll be coming up. I'm going to need like 6 hours to do it. So it's going to be like a Friday. I could do it this Friday. I could do it next Friday. No, not next Friday. Let me think about that. I might be able to do it Friday. Let's see how things go. But streaming is ending. Yes, that's right. So let me see who else is streaming on the big Twitch TV network that I can get you connected to that's doing something cool. Let me see. Oh my gosh, Bald Bearded Builder just started. Well, let's go raid our friend who just started his stream. Bald Bearded Builder, right? There we go. Big thanks to everybody for tuning in. I'll be back on Thursday. I'll be in New York City if you're in town, at Javits Center, taking the train in and out of town. Yeah, very good raid target. So, and I'll be back on Thursday. We'll do some more coding. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about Tamil, work on CodeMedic. I want to get an interactive piece of CodeMedic working soon. And I'll talk more about that cyber deck that I'm building, because parts are literally arriving right now for this brand new machine that I guess I'm inventing. Yeah. Have a fantastic rest of your day wherever you might be. I wish you good health and good coding. Take care.